Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about the Khmer Empire in Cambodia. I may pronounce things wrong, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, let's get started. Well, this empire, it was mostly built, society at the time in Cambodia, and at the time I'm talking about the 11th, right up until the 16th century, it was very agricultural. There were a few craftsmen and quite a few, a significant number, but the majority of the population were farmers. So it was very, like I said, very agricultural society. One of the main parts of the diet was rice. So people of Cambodia at the time of this empire, they were animists. And what this means is that, they believe that spirits inhabited earth and trees. And also, it's believed that the spirits were in the natural earth, which is, like I said, like the soil, the trees, whatever. Then later on, during the empire, um, Indian religions were introduced into Cambodia, so Hinduism and Buddhism, which actually coexisted with the pre-existing Cambodian beliefs. Well, rich, like these, I mean, with these religions, people building them, they built rich and powerful temples. There's pictures, and if you've ever been, I've not personally been, but I've seen pictures. It's quite impressive, and they're decorated with fine stone carvings. One of the most famous ones of this period being Angkor Wat, again, sorry for the pronunciation, which was built in the early 12th century, so it's quite old. So brief, very brief history. This is mostly like an overview. But in the year 1000 AD, King Jayavarman V was killed, and what ensued was a civil war. Then this guy called Suryavarman I, he founded another dynasty, and by the year 1011, he was firmly in control of Cambodia. And the dynasty only lasted for around 69 years. So it soon fell apart. But it was still 69 years. Considering the time period, not too bad. Then the year 1177, the Chams from Champa invaded Cambodia. But the king Jayavarman VII eventually managed to drive them out by the year 1183. So just 6 years after the invasion. And between the years 1203 and 1220, he managed to force the Shams to submit to the Khmer Empire, or however you pronounce that. But by the mid-end of the 13th century, the Khmer kingdom was essentially in decline. It wasn't as prominent as it had been centuries before. In the year 1431, the Thais, they captured the Cambodian capital, and they later abandoned it, and they founded a new capital at Phnom Penh. And then by the mid 16th century, Angkor was eventually overgrown by jungle, and it would later go on to be rediscovered by a Cambodian king. And yeah, that is a very, very, very brief overview of the, what was it? I don't know how to pronounce that, like Khmer Empire in Cambodia. And it was really prominent in the early 12th century, late 11th. But yeah, that is the Khmer Empire. And it's a really interesting piece of Asian history, which is not exactly taught that much taught at all in European schools, at least. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a brief video on overview on it. If you want, I can maybe make a video on more on in depth. But yeah, that is the brief overview of the Khmer Empire. So I hope you liked it, and yeah, Thank you for watching. Bye.